But at some point in your life, you get to the point you realize that you're going to make a choice for yourself. And I decided that in 2016, I'm just going to pursue music.
You've literally just said you woke up and decided music was what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
There was no you didn't stand in front of the mirror and rap Tupac and any of those things. You didn't have any of those
did that a
moments.
few times. I had a really bad stutter when I was a kid. I had a really bad stutter. I had a really bad and I mean, I would say something when I got anxious or excited, I would start stuttering and start like messing up my words and stuff and messing up my thought patterns. And rap helped me to like kind of slow things down. God was with me. God was on my side, and I wanted to understand God more and learn more about God and build a relationship with Him. So the whole story, when I have all these songs, it's just a timeline of my life.
So why was that EP called God is Gangster?
That was a time where I was very much like unsure about God's role in my life.
Martins. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the streets, and at the same time, we are with God. We have a rapper that is a hip-hop connoisseur as well as a gospel hip-hop connoisseur. The man is spiritual and holy at the same time. We have an individual that has released one album, 3 EPs only in 2024. He expresses himself constantly on his social media, talking about life, his situation, and other things he likes to talk about. I give you the one and the only, Savvie.
What an intro.
I like it. Thank you. I remember the first time we met with a big shout out to what are their names again? Don't forget. No Status. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, what's your name?" And he said Savvie, and I thought he said Sabi. I was like, bro, what's up, man? This world is already full of competition. Why are you stealing my name? As always, people in the production crew, we have BK Creative.
We're in the house.
And of course, I'm MC Savvy Boy, your host now and forever. And of course, we still do not have any sponsors. But Savvy said he might sort that out for us.
We can talk about something at some point.
I like it. Have you been, man? Everything good? How's life?
Life is good, brother. I can't complain. Things are moving, things are progressing, and God's with me, so I can't complain, brother.
I like it. We usually start this podcast in a very simple way.
Yeah.
Korak means footsteps.
Yes.
And we're trying to establish and understand the different footsteps you have taken to get you where you are now and where you want to get to.
Yeah.
But we usually start with that first step. What is that first step you think you took that has led you to where you are now and is leading you to where you want to get to?
Wow, the first step. That's it's so funny because I see the first steps as moments in your life that you can't necessarily define or describe because it just happens. It happens without you thinking. But the thing, where I say about a conscious first step in my life in terms of where I am right now is deciding I'm going to pursue music. I know it's so obvious, but that's the point where you say, you know, I'm going to move away from a conformist culture, which is my parents telling me do science, do medicine, etc. You might learn a bit more about it later.
Oh, don't worry, we understand. From the Nigerian household,
of course,
we understand. You can only be an engineer, a lawyer, or a doctor. Like I can see.
It's the three pillars.
What voice do you have? Yeah, you ain't rapping. How does that pay any bills?
You know what I'm saying? That's the perception. So you got to fight that. But at some point in your life, you get to the point you realize that you're going to make a choice for yourself. And I decided that in 2016, I'm just going to pursue music. That's probably the biggest conscious first step. I've taken many first steps, but that's the biggest first step I took. That's going to shape me to where I am right now, and will probably shape me for my future in terms of where I'm going in my life. So,
well, in my very Stephen Bartlett kind of way, for us to understand the man that you are today, let's go back to where it all started. So, you decided in 2016 music was the way forward. Yes. You've already mentioned, being from a Nigerian household, your parents come from a place of care. They want you to do something that they feel would actually make you successful.
Secure.
So, yeah, secure. I mean, with those parents, you can do anything else you want as long as you're secure, right? So, how was it? How was life growing up? How was Sean or Savvy? Yeah. How were you as a kid growing up? And how was the family dynamic?
Yeah. So I think the key thing I want to mention is that I come from a family that is so diverse in the way they think and their culture and their experience. My parents put love at the forefront of their relationship. They're still together, thank God, to this day. But my mum is a Muslim. My dad is a Christian. So they have a very complex and interesting story when it comes to background, and they put like I said, love to the forefront of their relationship. So me growing up, I grew up in a household that was quite interesting in terms of how to operate as a person, how to move as a kid. But me personally, I was kind of detached away from that. I was kind of focused on being, I was a bit of an introvert, but I had like extrovert qualities where I'd be fun, laughing and joking. I had a great childhood. I was very much in around good kids and good environments. And
Siblings?
Yeah, I had siblings. I got 2 siblings. I got one younger sister, one younger brother. I'm the oldest out of 3. So it was a great upbringing, and I had a chance to do many things. I can go into the depth of what I did in terms of building that creativity.
Wait for me to ask.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, let's keep it like
we'll keep it going.
Yeah, but the child was amazing. But beautiful parents, beautiful story, and I'm very grateful.
How do they implement? When you have 2 different denominations in terms of religion in a household, how do they make it work? Because I've seen it in situations where the parents will decide, okay, yes, the kids will be raised as Christians or they'll be raised as Muslims. How did your parents do it? How did they make it work?
See, I can deep dive into this so much, but I'm going to keep it so succinct and simple. Basically, I feel like my parents were born into serious religious households. And there's one thing being part of a religious household, one thing being a religious person in some sense, because if you're a religious person, you choose the religion out of they've obviously made a choice to commit to Islam and Christianity respectively, but at the same time they came from households of that respect, so they've not, but you can tell by the fact they're together, they don't really put religion absolutely at the forefront of their relationship. But so when I was growing up, I essentially what I would do is that I would do stuff like fasting here and there with my parents, and I'll go to church sometimes, and I'll do it's a bit like a pick and mix. I know it sounds so ridiculous, but it's like a pick and mix of like,
it's like a buffet of religion.
Like a buffet of religion. I got to experience everything, and what's awesome is that I got to see different sides of where they came from, like what they saw out of being a faithful person, and their stories behind it. So it was very much, I built like my own perception and my own kind of like ideology of how I think about faith and religion through them, and it was their stories shaped me to be who I am today.
So when you were being shaped and becoming the man that you are, where was music in all this? Were your parents, was music played in the household?
Very supportive, and that's what makes it so complex, because they were so supportive. Like in some respects, some faiths don't necessarily endorse having music as something you do actively.
Especially like what, secular music? Or
Especially.
Was any kind of music played in the house?
Yes. Oh, yes. My parents were musicians. My parents love music. I grew up on Motown.
Oh,
I grew up on Motown.
Nice,
I'm a Motown kid. I love
it.
Motown.
Like good vibes.
I played a starring role in a Motown show when I was a kid. I was into so much. I went to theatre school when I was for about 6 to 8 years. 8 years, I'd say. I did a lot as a kid. I was in productions. I was doing drama, music. I was a very creative kid, but I was also very academic, which made my childhood very complex as well.
I like it. Usually, you're probably like the second person that said, "Yeah, I was actually quite good academically."
Yeah.
And at the same time, I could do, because a lot of people either they tone it down to a point like, "Oh no, I wasn't that good," or they're like, "Oh, I was terrible."
Yeah.
But you pretty much were like, master of all in that situation.
I was a jack of all trades, master of some.
No, okay. Jack of all trades, master of some. I like it. But you were moving towards, because all this was happening way before 2016.
Way
before 2016, and you were trying your hands in different things. Your parents were supporting, encouraging you. When did music become the focus?
So 2016 was a year where I decided I was going to pursue production.
Why?
So the music became the focus when I left theatre school, and I took a break to focus on academic studies. I went to UTL to study biomedical sciences, a little key fact. And from that point, I experienced, and I was on a journey to become a doctor, because I had the skills and the ambition to become a doctor.
Dr. Savvie.
Dr. Savvie.
I could just see you
Dr.
rapping the patients into sleep. I'm like, I'm going to cut your arm.
You know what I'm saying? The serenade them to sleep and then move on. Like, that's the natural medicine, right?
Natural medicine,
That ones. But yeah, I basically decided medicine wasn't for me. I went to university, saw many medics, met many all great people, but I realized the course wasn't for me, and I wasn't happy about the system, etc., the politics, etc. So I decided to tap into what I was used to. I took a break. I work in IT now. That's my main role. I was doing IT roles as well. So I took a break to focus on other stuff outside my life, and then eventually I decided that I wanted to do music. I just woke up. I thought, you know what, this is what I need to do. I did it as a kid. It's what I am. So yeah.
So because usually people have this, my parents played music, I wanted to learn how to play that instrument or this instrument, and you've literally just said you woke up and decided music was what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
There was no you didn't stand in front of the mirror and rap Tupac and any of those things. You didn't have any of those
moments. I did that a few times, but we all have in the shower.
I mean, I still do it today. Man. I'm not gonna lie, I still do it today. Because it is, I've always seen, as much as one way or the other, however you want to look at it, there's always some certain kind of calling that comes with people in are talented in the music world like
Yeah.
yourself.
Thank you.
But and so you just decided music is what I want to do. And why rap though?
You know what it is? My story is that I grew up in soul, as I said, Motown history. I grew up as a singer. I went to choir. When I went to church, I took part in a choir. I wasn't in a choir, but when I went to church, I took part in a choir. I played a bit of piano growing up. I can play a few instruments as well. So I'm quite multiversatile in that respect. But like, I grew up on music, and I grew up on the idea of like soul and singing and R&B, and that was my jam. That was my thing. And then eventually, I kind of tapped into rap when I felt like I wanted to reinvent myself as an artist. When I came more into the seriousness of release and the really seriousness of actually becoming an artist, I wanted to add rap to another layer. And also, it's a lot deeper than that, but I also had a kind of...
Go deep, bro.
Go deep, yeah.
Let's
Go. I'm there. I had a really bad stutter when I was a kid. I had a really bad stutter. I had a really bad... and I mean, I would say something when I got anxious or excited, I would start stuttering and start like messing up my words and stuff and messing up my thought patterns. And rap helped me to like kind of slow things down. I was writing words, writing sentences, rapping them, repeating them, edifying them, etc. I became comfortable in doing something that it felt like it was a chance for me to just be me without no one interrupting me. I could just rap, and it's not like a conversation. I just rap for 16 bars, and boom, I'm done. So it's a chance for me to work on what I needed to work on in my speech and stuff, and it really helped me. The rap really helped to save me in terms of like understanding my own insecurities and also working on myself at the same time.
With the stuttering, were you the usual? You know how kids are evil. Yeah, growing up,
They're
children,
tough.
children are evil,
They're tough.
especially when you're in school.
It's
So
rough.
were you being made fun of and all that?
You know what
and when you say rap saved you,
Yeah.
did you? I mean, you're not like you were going around rapping to people. Like,
Yeah,
So how do you blend from? How did you go from? Okay, I have a stutter, a bit not as confident as you should have been.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you discover that, oh, wow, when I rap, this doesn't happen. How did you go from that one aspect to the other?
Yeah, I think when it comes to the rap aspect, is that I felt like I was able, like I said before, I was able to take time on myself and sit with my thoughts a bit more and create clarity. And in that respect, I built like a confidence and a shield from that. I think it shaped me to become more expressive. And like I said, it's shaped me. You ask like if it's something that, you know, why is it so important, why is it integral to me today? But it's something that helped me to create character for myself, add character because I had so much like heart and soul, but with the rap, it really taps to the mind, it taps into the thought pattern and your way of thinking, your way of expressing, and it's just like words. It's basically poetry on beats. So I wanted to unlock another dynamic to me. So it was literally a decision where I felt like I needed to, like being a kid growing up, you know what I mean? When you're stuttering, the kids are ruthless. But I get...
Even when you don't stutter, they're ruthless.
Either way.
They're ruthless.
But even me, it was never like a thing where it would be like an all the time. It's when I got anxious or excited or worried or a bit under pressure, I'd probably start doing it a lot worse than I hoped for. So so it just took time for me. I took time just to like sit in my thoughts. And I think what it is like with rap, I think with rap and singing, especially songwriting and rap, you really do more therapy than music. I think because most rappers. Like, especially most rappers that I've come across and worked with, if they can't sing, all they can do is do words. That's all they got to. They can't do melodies or riffs or hooks. It's all words to them. So words is more important than ever when it comes to rapping. So me personally, I love writing. I got ambitious to write a book. I can go to that as well, but I got ambitious to write a book. I got ambitious to do many things in my life, and I love writing. All I do is write. That's all I ever do. So rap just felt like a natural evolution. That's what I'd say.
So when into that, so you wanted to be a doctor,
Yeah,
and then you said, okay, this wasn't for me.
Yeah.
How was that conversation with your parents? How did you break it? How did you break it down to them, especially waking up one moment and going, I don't want to cure the sick anymore. I want to rap. How was that conversation with the parents?
You know, it wasn't even a conversation. I'll be honest with you, man. It wasn't a conversation. It was basically me playing it smart. Like just basically like conforming to what I want. I kept doing what I was working. That's the main thing. I was working at the time. So while I was working and building my skills and doing stuff to earning money and living in my parents' house, I was kind of earning their respect anyway and figuring things out. They understood. They understood when I left university at 21 years old. I did not want to do medicine. They understood, and I just
So
told them.
you finished the
I finished,
biochem.
I finished my biomedical degrees. I finished
Okay.
got two and got fantastic, good results, etc. And I told them I just felt like I didn't want to do medicine. I wanted to take a break and focus on work. So I spent a year out, just doing kind of. I'll be honest, being idle and being unsure about my future because I just wasn't happy about doing medicine. I wasn't necessarily in line of knowing what I want to do music. And then essentially, I just built out, I built out a plan to apply for jobs, did IT, and then essentially from there, they kind of built. I think they earned my respect when I started to do stuff for myself outside of medicine and outside of their perceived goal of me. And then eventually from there, I just built my own kind of my own skill set in terms of music. I basically proved to them over time that this is what I wanted to do, rather than have that conversation of one time with them. It was more of a thing where I just proved over time, and I just basically showed them that I really wanted to do this. And I told them I love music, and I told them I want to pursue music and give it a try. But I never gave them it's always like a constant update. It was just basically I told them, I just did it, got on with it, worked my jobs, and just got on with it. So yeah.
What was the roadmap for the music? Now that you decided that's what you wanted to do,
Yeah.
what was the plan? Okay, I want to do music now. I want to
Yeah.
rap. What did you tell yourself? Okay, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. I'm going to get on shows.
Yeah.
How did you build that up?
I'll be honest with you, it became more of a roadmap kind of philosophy when I got to the recent, like the last 2-3 years. At the beginning, it was just love, man. It was just love for the art, love for the sport. I grew up on music. I grew up on art, entertainment.
Who was your favorite rapper at the time?
Oh, when I was young, or around the time I decided to do.
I mean, eventually we'll do like your top 5.
Oh yeah, cool.
But then back then, because when I was chasing, it's like I had the dream of wanting to play football.
Yeah.
I was like you. I woke up one morning and decided, but I had a dream, and then my 3 favorite players in the world. I have loads, but
Yeah.
the 3 is what's the name? Savvie, Hernandez, Pablo Aimar, and Francesco Totti.
Oh wow, yeah.
So those 3,
Yeah.
those 3 are my
Yeah.
Those are the guys I like the way they played. Of
Yeah.
course, but my favorite player that in the world ever is Paul Scholes.
Oh well, yeah, quality player.
Paul Scholes.
Quality.
There are loads of people, but so those are the guys where if I'm at the pitch at the time, I'm trying to do certain things like them.
Yeah.
So who are the guys that you were like, okay, I want to rap now, so I want to rap like this guy, that guy.
I think around the time when I was because remember rap came during the time where I was in. That's more 2016 onwards when I decided to do music. I wanted to reinvent myself. I grew up on, like I said, music and soul. So
Whereabouts did you grow up?
I grew up in Blackheath.
Okay.
Yeah, so Blackheath is basically southeast London, and it's Greenwich and Blackheath, so it's basically southeast London. So yeah, so
Loads of space.
there's
greenery.
loads of vibes,
Yeah,
big vibes,
big vibes, big energy.
top energy, literally. So in regards to your previous question, yeah, when it came to rap, my favorite rappers kind of were the big 3. It was the Drake, the Kendricks, and the Coles, the J. Coles of the world. Those were the 3 that I looked up to, and they're the ones that kind of shaped my journey when it comes to creating art through rap. And I took a lot of inspiration from my melodies and music from Drake in terms of my musicmanship and my songwriting and my melodies from Drake. My kind of like alternative rapping from Kendrick, and my more soulful poetic flows from J. Cole. So I took different elements of those 3 guys and added it into my artillery, and those are the big 3. I mean, in terms of rap, I've got my music list for singers can go on for eons, but for like rap, those are the 3 I looked at really. Yeah,
I'm sure this is no surprise to you that people would have likened you with Biggie and and all that.
Yeah.
How much of if you go back in history with the Biggies and the Tupacs, is there any modeling of your rap that goes in that direction?
100%. So that's the other layer to it. So the Biggie and Pac became more. I didn't know about their music until later on, until I really, because when you grow up as a kid, you don't really, about the great songs, but you're not necessarily involved in the great songs. And when I learned about the history, the beef and everything, and I got interested in the story, especially in the last 3-4 years, I've started to tap more into Tupac and Biggie's stories, as well as all the other guys right in that era and that time that was coming up in that era as well. And 90s hip hop was a very special era for sure. So of course I take inspiration from Biggie, his story, his legacy, the man he is. The fact he had shout out Junior Mafia, shout out the Wallace family. Like those guys were just they set the precedent for for like, you know, gangster rap. You know what I mean? The people don't talk enough about, you know, the levels that Biggie took the gangster rap to, and Tupac bringing the more conscious but kind of like gangster flows as well. So people don't talk about the impact that the culture had for the how it set things up for the culture going forward in that respect. But yeah, I take a lot of inspiration from the stories of those two great poets and great artists, and yeah, it definitely influenced me. I've got many things on the way. I've got a song on the way dedicated to Biggie. I've got other songs. I've got a song called Tupac Shakur that's unreleased. I'll probably release for the next couple of years. So I've got many plans to bring those legacies to life and bring their stories to the forefront to people that don't know much about hip hop. Because right now, hip hop is diluted, man. Hip hop is not the real hip hop is not talked about anymore. It's under the radar.
I'm so happy you said the real hip hop, because one of the questions I wanted to ask you was, growing up in the UK, and of course the UK has its own kind of rap,
Yeah.
and its own kind of music.
Yeah.
Your rap is very likened to the hip hop in America.
Yeah,
pretty much.
100%.
It's very, as you said, you know, you had the Drake, the J. Cole, and the Kendricks.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that you're, you know, taking a lot of inspiration from.
Yeah.
Why is your rap American styled?
I think what it is because I gravitated the most towards it. I think with me, I really value like you know what it is. I grew up in London, obviously. I grew up around a lot of cool guys, street guys, smart guys. I've been around different environments, and I'm influenced by so much. Like even when I even rap and stuff, even though it's American style, I still keep the UK. I call it reverence.
How do you do that, Savvie? Because you know when you have a UK rapper, and so it used to be back in the day that I think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, people believe that the UK rappers were trying to be like the American rappers.
Yeah, true.
So they all try rapping in American accents, doing all the cool stuff, and then with time it started, diluting, and now everybody has embraced. Oh, UK rap scene is quite big.
Yeah.
But you come from the UK and not sounding, but you have an American kind of style.
Influence. Yeah.
Why? How often do you mix and match? Do you go into
I
the
do.
UK?
I do. You know what it is? I keep the UK as a reference point, because I figure UK when I do rap, I rap about my life in London, my life as part of the UK. I don't talk about me going to America, me trying to blow America. I could talk about my reality, and my reality is in London. I talk about my street. I even have a song that sounds basically kind of American, but it sounds very like you can hear the UK essence in the song in terms of the vibe and the flow, the words, the slang. I keep all that in my lyrics. I keep the energy of London in my lyrics for sure, but the vibe and the delivery, is much more around the American influence. I mean, I give the over American bounce, but at the same time, in terms of the flows, in terms of the concept and the ideas, it's always around the UK and London, always.
I mean, staying in 2016, what was that first song like? The first song you wrote and released. How did you take us back into getting into that first song and going, you know what, this is what I want to do down. Yo, Kendrick, getting into that album. What was the first song or the first release? What was it like?
Yeah, it was a very interesting experience because it was very much like very personal and very very new to me. I was putting together all my rusty skills as a producer, making kind of like average music. If you look back on it, it's average, but at the same time, at the time felt like the best. It felt like the best thing in the world to me at the time. So when making it was long, very hard, very difficult.
Did you produce as well?
I produced it. Yeah, So I started as a producer. I produced for 3 years for myself and other artists as well. And then I went into solo releases as an artist in 2019. So 3 years as a producer in that respect. So I built the skills as a producer. But the first release which was like a two-part song in 2016 in the summer, when I released it was all just emotion, rawness. It wasn't really much.
What were you emotional about?
I was just emotional about like the change, man. The change into music. The change from an old life into a new life. I began a spiritual journey as well in that respect. But I think me realizing my calling in life, which is music, was the beginning. I mean, that was the call, my purpose to music, and that experience of God and that experience in my spiritual journey led me to follow through with that pursuit to do music. So so the first song felt like all my story to all my story from that one point to that moment in that one song. That's what it felt. It felt like I was saying I was giving all my truth and all my energy in one song from the beginning of like this when this whole started about the women to this point and to that point 2016. Sorry, it felt like the summary so far. That's what it felt like. So that in itself is quite overwhelming and quite hard to deliver because you have to really sit with yourself and deliver that. You got to really think to yourself, wow, I don't even have the skills to be an artist. I don't have the songwriting skills, the production skills, the hook skills, the whatever, the experience in shows. I have to write something that just feels raw to me, and that's a very hard experience. You know, but you do it.
Well, when you're putting these things together,
Yeah.
and you talked about having an American influence, keeping it real with the London vibe.
Yeah.
At the same time, vibing with Kendrick and the other guys.
Yeah.
And you mentioned how 90s rap was very good. So, what is your rap? Because obviously you have what is classified, and I'm so happy you said hip hop is a bit now. But how your modern day rap, you have the mumble rap, you have the hamala hum, and all that, and you have all that stuff. And then you have back in the day where you're listening to the guys. I mean, probably not the J. Cole's because they don't mumble. What is your blend of rap, and obviously which one do you prefer?
I think with me, my rap, it became at one point it was very poetic, and then recently in the last few years it's become more like I like to call it like fun rap, comedic rap, where I'll just have fun at bars. I'll just do stuff that is very like. It feels egotistical, but just me expressing my truth and having fun. And I won't lie to you, I'm inspired by people like Stormzy, people like Dave, people like Chipmunk, people in the grime scene, people in the hip hop scene. There's the artists, and there's such a caliber of artists in this industry in the UK that are very good at what they do, and I'm inspired by them. I'm inspired by. I think Heavy's Head by Stormzy is one of the best projects I've heard. You know what I mean, from a UK artist.
Best project from a UK artist or best rap project?
I'd say rap projects. Yeah, rap project. I think there's many great. I mean, you can go on for Adele's obviously got some of the best work, but there's many great songs that's been released in the UK.
No, but what I'm asking is it best rap in terms of comparing it with every other rap album or just in the UK?
I would say that's a good question. I would say within the UK because I think like our all time there's so many great albums in Europe and US and Africa. Like there's so many great albums have made over the years. I think it's definitely up there amongst maybe like the top. I say maybe top 1,000 albums in the world of all time. But I think the UK is one of the strongest albums. Heavy as the Head by Storm is one of the best things I've heard. And rap albums from the UK for sure. Yeah, personally.
Yeah, so what's your style though? Going back to my question.
Sorry. I would say my style is very much like.
Would you blend with the mumbler?
Yeah, nah.
Hammer. One of those.
I couldn't get. I mean, but that's just not my cup of tea. But I mean, I know some of y'all like that, so I'm gonna let y'all do that. I would say definitely the comedic aspect, the comedic rap, soulful rap. I call it. I have a vision to create a genre called neo rap, where we combine soulful melodies, soulful raps, flows with like just poetic rapping. People were like Anderson .Paak does this. People like JID does this. People like Jody Badass does this. People that just rap and sing at the same time, but in a soulful way. That's the category I want to push. It's called alternative hip hop. I think there's more to that. I think there's more that neo soul and rap vibe, and it's something that I'm trying to merge together and create like a lane for that. So my vibe is very much like comedic vibes, but I like to give like real poetic soulful rap. You know what I mean? That comes in UK cadences and also US cadences. Just depends on how I'm feeling at the time, what the record demands from me. You know what I mean?
Started in 2016. Because if you look at your catalog of music from 2019, you've just been boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, active,
single, active, dropping. if you look at his socials, he's always on some street. Popping and doing stuff and doing events. So you've been very active in that aspect.
Yeah.
And you started in 2016. So between 2016 and 2019, you were honing your stuff, doing
hone and craft, yeah.
Now the question is, because when you said hip hop is a bit on the low slide right now.
Yeah.
Are you talking about in the world or just in the UK? And what exactly are you hoping to do to raise it?
Yeah, that's a good shout. That's good questions. I would say like in terms of like the state of hip hop, I feel right now across the world, it's just not where it should be. You know what I mean?
In the world, where do you think it should be then?
I think in terms of, I think it should be. I think there should be leaders in every. I think hip hop needs to evolve. It can't. We can get influenced. Well, I was also talking because I'm with a label right now, so cut the news there. But I was always told by my peoples in the label that like it's good to have. Or it's good to have solid roots, but build towards the future and evolve the culture. So hip hop should be evolving over time. It should be progressing. We should be taking inspiration from the past and reinventing it to make it sound better, or just much more different than today and than it used to be. So I feel like right now we need leaders that are gonna really give meaning to music, man. I know it's gonna sound so obvious, but the conscious way is where it's going, man. The conscious, I mean, right now I think dancehall's had its time, Afrobeat's having its time right now. You got all these genres, even drill had its time, obviously. You have all these genres doing crazy things, but with hip hop, I think when the hip hop to raise the frequency of hip hop again, you got to get the conscious to the forefront, the conscious vibes to the forefront, man. You got to get, but maybe not necessarily just conscious completely. But I've always been told that if you want to break this market, give them the melodies, give them the hooks, but also give them the conscious messages as well.
Oh, hey guys, sorry to interrupt your episode. I hope you can please subscribe, hit that notification button so we can get more and wonderful, incredible guests and you can continue to listen to the Korak Podcast. Till then, more thanks. Go back to the episode. I mean, some people might argue, so when you look at other genres of music, I had this conversation somewhere the other day. I can't remember where I was. It was dark and there was music playing. I had this conversation with a few people, and when you look at different genres of music, like you say, hip-hop needs to evolve. I could argue that hip-hop has probably been one of the most evolutionary genres because...
Agreed.
And the reason I say that is, if you look at jazz and probably rock, they've always stayed the same.
Yeah.
So people come into it and come out. But they've always stayed the same. If you hear jazz anyway or blues, you're like, this is it. But with hip-hop, you have different people that rap. They might rap in a different way. You could even have a rock star do a rap track. You could have anybody do a rap track. And the hip-hop has always blended with everybody else. So how much more evolution do you need it to do?
I think when I say evolution, I think it's more the presentation of it. So when I think evolution, I think hip hop has definitely evolved over time. But I think the what's the word? Almost like the attention around the real hip hop, right, where I perceive to be like more conscious, more poetic flows, more real bars. It can be anything, any kind of, it can be street, anything you talk about real. That's been kind of like subsided by the more sellable and replayable TikTok designed hip hop.
They not like us.
Even that's a great record. They're like us.
But it's pretty much.
But it fits the bill of trying to conform to that repetitive, that kind of vibe in it. So no shots, but just that's what it is. So I think in regards to like, I think what the thing I'm trying to get at is that in the underground, hip hop is doing great. Hip hop right now in the underground scene is doing brilliant. Like there's so many talented people in the scene right now that are doing bits right now.
Just to educate people that don't really understand what underground is, what is underground in the world of music? And why is hip hop doing great in the underground and not in the forefront?
Yeah. So underground basically is a community where they've not got sorry, one second, sorry. So underground is a community where they've not got mainstream attention or mainstream support or mainstream just visibility.
So it's like graffiti artists.
That's it, man. It's guys that do it for the culture. People that just graft into break mainstream. Essentially, you break mold. Your label invests in you. You're independent, whatever. You break the mold, and you gravitate towards another level in your career. Underground is a space where artists hone their skills. They collaborate. They mesh. They get involved in ciphers. They're very much like community founded, and you build through that as well, and that's how you connect.
So do you want to take the underground flavor and raise it to be
100%? The goal for me personally is to give the opportunity for underground artists to succeed in the mainstream, and I think
how would they succeed without being mainstream artists though?
I wanted to get to the mainstream, so I want to take the underground into the mainstream. I like to be somebody that can inspire people to get the resources, and get the team, and get the things in place to take them from a underground situation to a more mainstream situation. So, and that requires work ethic, that requires talent, that requires business understanding, understanding the marketing, all these forefronts around the music. You need to understand the layers involved to get to that stage, and for you to do that, you need a team to support and your work ethic. So I want to be someone that can be able to give that support and direction. That's why I got my own kind of bubbling up label right now, Alpha Soul Records. Shout out Alpha Soul and the team.
Maybe they can sponsor us. Who knows? Who knows?
I'm trying to get my own finger on it, so to inspire the next generation. So yeah, that's the goal. And I think once we start to share our success as an example to the industry, then you start to see more success. And it starts in little bits here and there, people doing a bit here and there to push the scene forward. And obviously I can go into politics of the mainstream and why that's not happened yet so far, but the nutshell is that people are just not. It's a very difficult system in right now in the music industry, and artists are not educated on how to how to get to the next level. They're not educated. They're letting people decide stuff for them. They're not doing the homework themselves.
Well, you mentioned 3 of like your favorite rappers that inspire you. Those 3 were involved in the beef this summer. And of course, a lot of people who say, "Oh yeah, Kendrick smashed that." First of all, let's start with this. Why do you think J. Cole did not want to get involved in throwing punches in this beef? He was like, "I'm not going to." I'm literally
regurgitating what everyone's saying in the comments, saying on social media.
No, what you saying? Don't worry about it. What are you saying? I mean, this guy is like your inspiration.
I don't know J. Cole. I don't know J. Cole's mindset, philosophy. I don't know what he's going through. I don't know what his story is, but I know his story, but I don't know what he's going through on a personal level. And I think personally, if I had to take a stab at it, I think he just values a relationship with Kendrick and Cole more than making money and making hits and music in the beef. I think he values their personal relationship.
So you would say Kendrick won that beef, right?
Undoubtedly, yeah. I think there's a controversial take could be that Drake had some great moments in the beef in terms of some songs. Like Family Matters was a great song. Family Matters was a great song. That was a great diss track, but Kendrick was more strategic and more timely with his beef, and he hit the punch in the right place at the right time.
Lyrically, though, in terms of rap beefs, where do you place this? Because when you look at like Tupac, Biggie, you look at 50 and Jada, Ja Rule. You look at other rap beefs, Jay-Z, Nas.
Yeah.
Where do you compare the lyrics of their beef in terms of Kendrick and Drake?
Oh, there's no doubt that Hit 'Em Up and the Biggie Pac era was the best this era of music of all time. 100%. The context, the story, the vibe, the track itself, Hit 'Em Up. It's just even when you watch the movie Biggie and you hear the detail what went into Hit 'Em Up, how it unfolded. It's like a movie. It's sensational. So like, and that's something you guys to take away and look into yourself. But when it comes to diss track eras, I think that's definitely one of the greatest. I think this is a very close third. I think Drake and Kendrick, you know what I mean? I think Drake was great, but in terms of levels of rap, I'd say definitely Kendrick and Drake's up there. And 100%, especially got the build up, the like that record, and the build up towards the beef just felt like a movie. Felt like, wow, what's going on here? And then I think that even May last year was just a historic season. We done like multiple diss tracks and multiple things going off that month. So it felt very surreal, and it felt quite. So that's probably I'd say it's up there. But I think you can't neglect Nas and Jay. You can't neglect some other low key ones as well. But, low key beefs as well with UK artists. UK, even the UK scene. I know we talk about US. If we talk about US solely, amazing. But even for our culture, the UK, you know, I mean, if you've had some amazing beefs in the last like 5 to 6 years.
Stormzy and our
Chip.
Not Chip, but Stormzy and Chip.
That was short lived.
Yeah, that was short. I mean, Stormzy didn't even reply or say anything, but it was Stormzy and what's his name?
Uncle Wiley.
Uncle Wiley, man like Wiley. I like that. So there was that one. That was quite entertaining.
Yeah,
and a few other ones have happened. But well, cool. Well, if you say so, you think the Tupac can be number one? And
I feel like impact across the world, impacted in the culture. Yeah, they're number one, man. I think they had 2 tracks. It's only like Who Shot You and Hit 'Em Up. But those are the 2 main tracks, but the impact was just too good. They were both at the heights of their careers, the hottest rappers in the world. It's similar to Drake and Kendrick. I feel Drake and Kendrick, it feels bigger because of the numbers and the timing. But I think in terms of like because me personally, I value what Biggie and Pac stood for more than what Drake and Kendrick stand for, in my opinion. I just think that the beef was just bigger, in my opinion. I just think, I think if Biggie and Pac were alive today, they probably would be no.
If you could
these guys
summarize
right
it,
now.
what do you think? You say you value what Biggie and Pac stood for. What do you think they stood for?
I think Pac stood for progress and progress and justice, in my opinion. And I think Biggie stood for authenticity, but also he was just a rebel. He was a rebel. He was just a rebel. He just didn't like the system. He didn't like himself. He didn't like the world. He was, even this album. I listened to this album, Ready to Die. I think about a few months ago, and I cried, man. I cried real tears because that man was in pain, man. That Ready to Die, everyone loves the album. Love and dance to Juicy, dances to Big Papa, all that stuff. But this guy was going through it, man. He was going through it like he was going through a very dark time in his life mentally.
You cried because
the lyrics hit me.
You understood what he was talking about.
I understood. Yeah, I heard everything he said. I studied the lyrics. I was reading, thinking like, wow, this literally his death. He's writing the suicide notes in his album. The whole Ready to Die is suicide notes, basically. It's crazy.
So if we go back to you do gospel rap,
Yeah,
and you do street rap, if you want to call it that, or you want to call it secular rap.
yeah.
So, I mean, shout out to a group called PGGM. They do gospel rap, and the good had them on the show at some point. How do you ever see it as a contradiction? Because do you go from, you have an album, you have an EP called God is Gangster.
Yeah.
And then obviously you always voice out how spiritual you are.
Yeah.
And how, God is making progress in your life.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you could rap about secular things happening. You know. Like one of my songs that will look at the lyrics, it's what's it called, Motivation.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that song. And
Moderation.
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 Sorry,
Yeah. Cool.
Moderation. And that's not a gospel song.
Yeah.
So how do you work? How would you encourage people to look past the contradiction and just enjoy it as rap? Or do you think it's tailored to different communities?
I think, I'll be honest with you, man, I make music for, first of all, what resonates to me inside of me, what my story is. And my story is, if I gave you a nutshell, is I've gone from a very much like...
Don't give us a nutshell, spread it.
But,
spread it.
Yeah, good. I'll tell you
you're on a podcast.
Yes, sir. So I've gone from like being not with God to being with God. And that process being not with God and being with God, you've got to go through a lot of changes in your life. You're going to face like a lot of contradictions, a lot of...
An example of not being with God?
That's just not believing in Him. I'm coming from a Christian Muslim household, and obviously we do stuff around understanding and believing in God, but that's just one thing. To believe and know God is two different things. You have to really understand Him, really build a relationship with Him and actually connect with Him. And I never had that understanding when I was a kid. I just did the stuff because I was born in a household to do it. I would fast, I'd go to church, I'd do all these things, great signs, but are you really with God? Are you really understanding who God is? So I had to go through that motion of doing that, becoming that person, and in that story, I wasn't that one person in the music, and obviously over time, I grew to understand that God was with me, God was on my side, and I wanted to understand God more and learn more about God and build a relationship with Him. So the whole story, when I have all these songs, it's just a timeline of my life. It's a timeline of my life. It's not me saying I've been God. I can't say I've been the music I made 6 years ago. It's not who I was 6 years ago. For me today, I've changed a lot. I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot. So that's the story, man. That's simply it. But it's simply that.
No, you're the one that made it seem like it was going to be something extra. You said, "Man, I didn't bring in a nutshell. Let's just spread it." You're the one that making it, as big as it should be.
Yeah.
But then the question I do ask you is
the contradiction aspect. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand the way you have explained it is obviously who I was a few years ago is different.
Yeah.
But even now, you don't stick to one. You still do gospel and you still do different things.
Yeah,
so
true.
that's the contradiction I'm talking about.
So I think to explain that right now is that I understand that for me to impact many communities, it's not appealing to many communities. It's so funny you mention this, because I had a talk today myself in the mirror. I said to myself, why do I not just like stick to Christian rap and just focus on communities that will truly embrace me and love me and admire me and just I will just give me love. You know what I mean? There'll be no haters. There'll be no people giving you.
You say no haters in the Christian rap game.
Well, I would think obviously people will have the people. I feel like there'll be less haters in the Christian game compared to the world. You know what I mean? So that's what I think anyway. But obviously, but then I realized that my mission isn't to just please the people that want to please me. It's to actually help people that I need. And people that I need are lost and don't know where to go. So for you to break the people that are lost and don't know where to go, you got to go to communities where you're just unfamiliar to. So me doing the music I make music because I see myself as someone that's standing for something. I feel like a modern day kind of like just a hero. I feel like someone that could just try and impact people in the right way and give people the knowledge they need to be happy and successful, and also hopefully come to God. So I give people the message, but sometimes to do that, you need to give people what they need to hear first before you win them over. It's just a process, but you have to give them what you think they want to hear, and then build from there and give them what they need to hear. Some people just won't listen to you if they give them the rawness and the pure holy vibes. You need to give them kind of lure them in.
So you're trying to work on getting the different communities together.
Yeah.
And then delivering that message.
100%.
Okay. I like it. So that, I mean, shout out to, not like he knows who I am, but, DJ AG, I saw you.
Yeah.
I saw you doing your freestyle.
I'm sure he'll see this.
Let's hope so. We need to cut this part. DJ AG,
Get through to me, AG.
Come Korak, man. We need to know your story. We need to know your story. Did you ever go through the stereotypical rap thing? Chicks, drugs, all those kind of things. Even back in the day when you say you were not with God. Oh, that looks like it.
No.
Exclusive.
No, that's
exclusive.
That's something I don't.
Hey, show me something, baby.
Basically, I've never done that kind of stuff, man. I'm not into that kind of world of like
chicks.
Of course, I like my women. I like
booze.
Obviously. I used to drink. Yeah, I used to do all these
Okay, so
things,
we're getting there. That's two out of. We're getting there. That's 2 out of. Okay.
No weed, no drugs. That's not me. Though.
Okay, cool. So you never went through the typical tough man, gangster, rap, babes, chicks, all that hard man. You never went through all that.
I've always been someone that's known people, and I've known people that are going through things, are going through whether in the streets, whether they're in different parts of life. I know people that have been around difficult situations. I grew up in a place where there's a great area, but I've been around the hood as well. So you can't avoid that life, can you? You can't avoid the local man down the road that's there post up since from like 12 a.m. from 12 p.m. in the afternoon to 12 a.m. at night. You can't avoid those guys. They're always there, and they're always going to talk to them. So I've been around that situation my whole life, but at the same time, I've always tried to keep on a narrow path. You know what I mean? Even this is why I probably think I found God when I had to, because I've been in situations where I've tried to be focused on me and focus on my own journey and not trying to be distracted by other things around me. People that be out there late doing the madness. I'm at home studying or doing music. So I'm from a kid. I've been nurtured to be that kind of person, be very responsible, and be accountable for how I move as a person. So it's in my nature, bro. It's in my nature to do that. So in terms of gangster rap, I've never grown up as a gangster. I've never gone into gangster rap. I've never been that kind of person. I've obviously dated and seen women, but I've never seen them as like objects or that kind of stuff. I've always had a respect level in that respect. So yeah, man, I've just lived my normal life, man, and I've built through that. You know, I've been lucky to have great parents and a great household. Honestly,
that's good. You're very active on social media. And, you do snippets. You put your music out there.
Yeah.
You talk about how you're feeling. I think I remember you actually crying when you listened to the Biggie album. Recently, you were talking about you were gassed Donald Trump won the election. You're like, oh, they tried to kill him and he won. This is surprising. So you put like your feelings and emotions out there in your social media.
Yeah.
How did you go from, as I said, 2019 till now? You've been very active. As I said in the beginning of the podcast, you released 3 EPs and 1 album this year.
This year, yeah.
And you blend that with you have a normal day job and you're trying to push. You signed to a record label.
Yeah.
You're trying to do shows and trying to get out there. You're on the podcast now.
Yeah.
How has it been? How do you blend into that such a busy schedule?
It's
like
wild, man. It's wild, bro. It's just constant, bro. It feels like I just can't slow down and stop, man. I'm just gonna keep on one thing comes after the next. But I think during these times you realize the kind of person you are, what you're made of. You know what I mean? When you go through, when you experience blessings at the highest level and also difficult situations at the highest level, it makes you a man, man. It makes you really the man you're meant to be. So I'm grateful, man. I manage it by just taking it one day at a time. And I'd say to myself, okay, I've made this music, I've made this and that, but this is a new day to make something new day to attack something else, and you know what I mean. I've really become. I think the moment I let go of procrastination, that's the moment I start to see things happen in my life. I just woke up. I decided to, even when I was unsure, I would still do it. I was still start and just do it, and it's something that I'd never had before. And I thank God for giving me that ability. But being able to just like get up and just do stuff and just keep going. That's how we do. That's how everyone does. But that's how all these artists you see.
not everyone does it like you.
Not
Not everybody releases 3 EPs in 1 year and 1 album. No, everyone doesn't do that. Some people release 1 single a year. And then they'll probably tell us, oh yeah, my EP is coming out in 2029 or something. So
but I'll be honest with you, it's bigger than that, because maybe I've always worked in advance. All the stuff I released like this year was all from last year. I made it all last year. Well, some stuff I made this year, but most of the things were all from last year. So they all from we're still in 2024, all from 2023. So I always kind of make things in advance, and I always kind of I kind of do kind of yearly plans.
So we already have 2025 ready to go.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Do you ever feel you're doing too much? Because, for example, you have 3 EPs, 1 album.
Yeah.
Do you feel, whoa, that is just... And it's not like you've gone on a tour.
Yeah.
Yes, you do your live shows and you do your shows here and there, but it's not like you're going out there and you're promoting your music, but you're not like out there rapping and marketing. So do you ever feel, this is a lot?
Yeah, I do. It gets overwhelming at times. It does get... It gets hard to manage like my expectations and manage my my goals, because you want to push them. The thing of me, man, I think the way I see it as well is that I've put a lot of work and effort and time into this craft, where I've unfortunately not got the respect and love I think I deserve out of it, and I've unfortunately had to double down in things that, you know, in making more music and producing my art more and doing stuff. But what it's done is that all these things I've done has led me to situations where I'm going to go into a new year now of a label with all these blessings behind me that I never had before. And so I know what I'm doing right now is definitely working. But and the way it is, it takes 10 years to become an overnight success. So I know what I'm doing right now is build up towards. I'm approaching now 2026 in 2 years. I'm approaching my 10-year mark. So let's see at 10 years where I'm at, you know what I mean?
2026 is the year, man. It's the year. I can see us backstage shouting. Talking about, we're going into what we call like a deep dive.
Yeah.
Korak deep dive, you know, looking at the lyrics and some of the songs.
Yeah, cool.
So your latest EP, Dispute. What does that mean?
So basically, it's basically a repeat. It's basically a play on the word. So
it's DISSPEAT.
Yes,
Dispute.
Yes. So basically in kind of US, how would I put it? US sports, you have things called 3-peats and 2-peats.
Yeah.
So you have like things
3-peats,
where you go back to back.
Yeah.
So what I did is I went dispute. I basically went back to back with the disses. So I said because I'm going back to back with the disses in every song, I call it peats, like it's constant dissing, repeating. It's basically diss repeating, but it's summarized as dispute.
I mean, when you're looking at that EP, you have the songs on there. You have Mother Nature, Hell's King, Training Hour, 83%, and Summer.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite on that album is Mother Nature.
Wow.
And if I break it down, and forgive me if I get the lyrics wrong, this is how I hear it.
Yeah, cool.
So you start to say, we're vibing and we're pushing, we're vibing and we're pushing. We see the heroes cooking, the bouncers get it looking right now.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I mean, I know we're vibing and we're pushing. Obviously, it's the hustle. Yeah. We see the heroes cooking. The bouncers get it looking right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's your song. What's the message you're pushing from that?
Yeah, it's obviously it's basically as it says on the tin. Like everyone I feel like is have great visions for their art, for their music, for their business, for their goals, for their development, for their podcasts, for anything. You always have to
For their live
understand-
music.
for live music, you got to double down. You got to we're vibing. We're all vibing. We're all having a good time. We're all pushing us all at the same time. We're all doing. We're working. We work hard and play hard. We're doing both things. And when it comes to the heroes are cooking and the bound to get looking. What I'm trying to say is basically the heroes that are under the radar are people that I consider to be like overlooked people in society that are doing great things for the community or great things in life, or getting a recognition out of it. They're cooking, but eventually they're gonna break the mold. They're eventually gonna become the next pack. Then they're eventually gonna break out of the next pack and get mold and eventually get the respect they deserve. But they're just gonna keep on vibing and pushing. You know what I mean?
I mean, it goes on to say we're vibing, we're pushing. They gave us over nothing. We see the villains losing. We're gonna blow it up right now. And then it goes into like what I call it's
the villains
rap.
cruising. The villains cruising.
The villains cruising. Say
Cruising.
thank you. The villains cruising, and it then goes into how dare you mess the earth? You're worse than the death. The sun brings brighter days. Your intention brings more hurt. Why do you try to fight? Why won't you compromise? You're luring us to the hills, these educated minds. I pity all you fools with nothing more to lose. Why do you watch the news? Your habit in so new. I hope you seek some truth before the ground takes you. Wake up and make the brews. Your life is living proof.
Poetry, bro. Poetry.
I like it when you're reading the lyrics back then. You're like, oh man, this is the first time I'm hearing it. Like, oh,
It feels different here for your side, bro.
I mean,
it feels different.
I mean, listening to that felt like a rant. Like
Yeah.
What is? I mean, with the way you're ranting, and then the song is called Mother Nature.
Yeah.
What was that rant about?
It's about the way we just disrespect the earth, bro. We don't respect our earth in a good way. We pollute it. We are doing horrible things with our animals and with the way even we treat health right now. I mean, I can go into depth with it, but I know I'll probably get targeted for this one. But yeah, even the industry, the health industry, the pharmaceutical industry, all these things, we're just doing stuff to make money and not help the earth and not actually support Mother Nature. Mother Nature's hurting. Mother Nature, I feel Mother Nature. I experience it. I know it's really hurting. I know, and I want to defend the state of the earth. And I've talked about this in my TikTok. When I got a podcast. I got a series I do on TikTok right now around my Christianity, my faith. And I talk about how the power, the fact that we're given earth as stewards, it's all in the Bible, how we're given earth as stewards. We're here to look after and being companions of the earth. So I see the opportunity for us to develop and develop as people and as entities. We have to kind of develop our environment as well. We can't just let our environment rot and wither away. So this attack is to anyone that feels as though if you're just doing stuff that's gonna just at any level in life that just doesn't respect the earth, then that tracks for you. Tracks for you, man.
I mean, you look at the other EP, which is God is Gangster, that
Yeah.
has Church on Friday, Monopoly Signals, Moderation, Spark the Fire, Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I mentioned back that I like Moderation,
Yeah.
and one of the parts that stuck me is like, bitch, you know my pedigree, trying to leave a legacy, don't know where this is taking me, music is my therapy, leave no room for messy seats, lights and love is all I need, praying for the enemies, God will set you free.
Amen.
I mean, this is the contradiction that kills people. You know, gospel and then bitch. You know, my pedigree. But
Yeah,
so
yeah.
what was that about? What's moderation about?
Moderation was about finding moderation. That's what it's about, man. It's finding balance in the chaos. You know, whenever you're going through anything difficulties in life, you look at how do you balance that and how do you level head yourself and even also not just, but for me personally, it's a personal thing to me where I'm trying to moderate my emotions, my expressions, my feelings for people, my feelings for life, my feelings for everything.
Are you very emotional? Like,
Yeah, I would say I'm emotional.
there's nothing wrong with being emotional.
Yeah. I think
anytime you tell people, are you emotional? They go, no. You can be as emotional as you want, as long as you can control it. But you seem very like, are you deep into things that interest you and like excite you? You get like deep into it.
Oh yeah, I think I'm very passionate about like things that influence me. Yeah, because I think it's important to. I think it's important to be. You have a sense of attachment to something that you're passionate about for sure, and that takes that reveals more to you and more levels to you as a person, because you learn more about yourself when you experience something that you truly care about. It's like if you love someone and you have a wife and she gets hurt, you hurt. It's as simple as that. It's a simple metaphor. Like,
It depends.
things you care. Well, it depends.
Something
Depends how much you love them. But
I mean, if something whacks her knee, my knee's not
yeah.
gonna, my knee's not gonna be hurting.
But I guess it's like you're going to be compassionate about things that you care about. You empathize, yeah.
So why was that EP called God is Gangster?
That was a time where I was very much like unsure about God's role in my life, who God was and what God's role was. And I was very much in the bracket of like not knowing who God was and having this concept that this guy, this person in the sky, this person up above, it's just almost like a dictator. He wants to have his own people. He has. Yeah, it just gives you the opportunity to have free will and all these things. It's very deep. But the word God is gangster is the way that I felt like God moved like a gangster. I felt like the whole concept of God is very gangsterish. I felt like, the way he kind of like gives like such authority and, how he's created, how he basically allowed evil to exist. And all these things to me blew my mind. I thought to myself, like, why would God even do this? What's the purpose behind all of this? What is the story behind this? What is the intention behind this? And then the whole PB God is Gangster is my summary from believing that I need to do stuff in my life to understand God, to then chasing essentially a pursue happiness, chasing a life where I'm going to seek happiness. But I know by the end of get to the EP, I understand that I know that even if God is gangster, I'm on my journey to happiness. So if God can provide happiness to me, I'm with Him. So at the end of the evening, it's kind of begins from like going from something untraditional, church on Friday, to something unfamiliar, something uncertain, to something where I know I want happiness in my life. I know if anybody can provide happiness in my life, and it's you, God, then I'll take it, whether you're a gangster or not. So the whole God is gangster is my whole evolution and almost like awakening around from a less connected person to God to a more connected person with God. So someone that doesn't know God and judges God for being a gangster, to someone that understands that he's actually a truly amazing and a wonderful person, that guy is very gracious and holy, and I thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in that respect. So yeah.
I like it. I mean, people, the man has, as I said, 1 album and 4 EPs in just 2024, so you can understand his story moving forward and all that good stuff. You did mention that, you're already getting ready for 2025. You have a label company behind you.
Yeah.
How did that happen? What's the deal with that?
They reached out to me. They found me on a website. They found me on YouTube. They found me on YouTube. They were researching my music, and they loved it. They loved the Slide On. Everyone knows Slide On now. That's one of the biggest songs. And they found the song, and they looked at my catalog, and yeah, great, amazing. The team loved it, and they reached out to me and they said they want to work. And yeah, and then I can't give it too much about the details of that. But I think in terms of like what we related, the conversations we had, the conversations it was really good. It was really good. So they support the message. They support the mission. They know that I've had all this stuff with Drake and Kendrick and all this stuff going on, so they know they endorse it. They believe in me. So it feels amazing. It feels amazing to be loved and admired. And they when someone behind you thinks you can be one of the biggest artists in the world in a matter of a few years, and they've got the game plan for you, then you know what I mean. They show it's just vindication that your work is what it's been worth it. Like everything I'm doing and I will do more of is working. So yeah.
So what should we expect, from you in terms of, obviously, new albums and new music shows, live shows?
Yes.
What's on the horizon for Savvie?
A lot of big stuff's on the horizon. A lot of big releases. And this year I'm releasing 2 more songs and two music videos this year.
Ooh, nice.
before the year's out. And it's been a while since I've done a music video, so I'm really excited to see the reception of that. I'm releasing an album in January. Another album in January, but this one's going to be a bit more of the beginning of a new era for Savvie. We're fully fledged soldier of God, and that's literally going to be the album in January, and then it's going to be big singles after big singles for next year, big projects, another big project later on in the year, and then obviously a headline show in Hoxton in March.
Very nice, very nice. I like it.
So I'm very excited. Loads of plans to do festivals, and loads of plans to do European tours, hopefully at some point next year. So so we're going to build the ground up, get a fan base there, and keep pushing.
Well, that is good. Great plans, man. The man is ready for. You're ready to like what 2030. So we're gonna see more of you vibing and moving forward. We like it. We
Thank
like
you,
it.
man.
Well, we get to the point where BK Creative will ask you his own question. All questions.
Yes.
It just depends on how interesting the guest is. No shade to anyone, but if they only get one question, I'm joking.
Straight to the point.
I got two questions for you
uninterested.
today.
I'm joking.
First one just being the very simple. If you could give, you said 2026 is your 10-year anniversary.
Yeah.
So if you could give that 2016 version of yourself some advice that you didn't know back then, what would it be?
That's a very good question, man. You know what it is? I would say that, and it's said so much times, but I would say it all again, that believe in the journey, man. And I would tell that person the journey is a destination. People say that chase a destination and focus on the journey. I think the destination is the journey. I mean, I think you being on the path of righteousness and goals is the beginning of your fruits and the beginning of your life. So I would tell a person, believe in yourself. Don't change for no one, and believe in the journey and enjoy the journey. You know what I mean? Like, and I would tell that to anybody. And I'll tell it to my 8-year-old self, my 16-year-old self, the same person. Believe in the journey and trust in God. And I wish I found God earlier. I know if I found God earlier, I'd be in a whole other space right now. But everything happens for a reason. But just believe in the journey, and the journey will take you where it needs to get to.
Amazing. And I think my last question will be, you're definitely a person that knows what they want and has a plan. And it seems like you're always on the go. But when will you get to the point, if there's ever going to be that point, where you can kind of just sit back and, I don't know if you're a fan of Marvel, but have your Thanos moment of, I did what I needed to do. Yeah, I did it. Like, I'm done now. And I can just sit back and look on a grateful universe.
Yeah.
Are you ever going to get to that
I'll
point?
be honest, bro. I do that now, man. I know it seems like I'm active, but I take time out. I do a lot of resting, a lot of therapy, a lot of self-therapy, a lot of meditation. And I feel like while I'm building this life, I've got to invest in my dream and invest in my goals. So whilst that train is building, eventually when it gets to the point where I feel like I can rest, I will rest. But right now, I've got so much more to achieve, so much more hearts to touch, and so much more souls to move. So the journey goes on, man, until I feel like it's right to rest. You know what I mean? It's just instinctive. I'm not relying on timelines or goals or ages. It's just down to what's demanding me at the time. And right now, I'm in the prime of my life. The other day, I got checked for ID in Lidl. I got asked for ID. Can you imagine? I bought wine. I'm 32 years old. Got asked for ID. Can you imagine? So I'm doing something right. You know what I mean? I'm doing something right. So God bless, man. I'm just gonna keep it pushing, but keep it pushing to the stars. And then when the time is right, I'll settle down, and the family will come in, the lifestyle will come in, and I can relax and go to Bahamas, wherever the place may be, and just live life. You know what I mean? Like, but right now, it's the year to grind. It's the years to grind. Sorry.
Nice.
The
That's
years to
wicked.
grind. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The man is not scared of hard work, and he wants to, reap the fruits of his labor. BK Creative. Yeah, you're getting good at this question stuff. I mean, at some point, I had to put you in front of the camera.
You've been
At some point,
working.
I had to put you in front of the
You need to
camera.
be here, man. You need to be
Whenever
here.
you're not ready, let me just sub in.
That's fine. I don't mind, baby.
I just sub in.
I like it.
I told you it comes from the guest. If the guest is interesting,
Okay.
then
No
you
shade,
get good
though.
questions.
No shade.
I've never asked a bad question, so we haven't had a bad question, a bad
shade.
guess. But if you ever hear a bad question,
Yeah, say no, but I'll call you out next time.
yeah.
Terrible.
It's all good. You seem like you believe in being you want to use your music to be of service to people.
Yeah.
And grind and make sure you help the community, which is really good, and you have great plans. Savvie, thank you for being on, Korak.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, bro. I really, tell you, brother. I really appreciate the time, man. I wanted to also shout your platform for what you've done for many people that look at you. People aspire to be around you, man. They're inspired to be in this space and be in a chance to go conversate and grow and understand each other. And also the platform, the vibe you give, honestly, from the point I got here was just beautiful, bro. So here's your flowers for this network, man. I hope this, if you use this as a clip, as a replay, whatever, but this is your flowers, bro. This is an amazing podcast, bro, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much for Savvie being again. Hopefully, you have. Well, 100% sure you're going to be back in here because the man has plans.
That's how I bring the groupies.
Please bring them. We'll sort them out like those. Bring them out. We're good. We have enough room. Well, thank you very much again. And as things come to align, we'll speak to you real soon. So, ladies and gentlemen, Savvie on the podcast.
Yes,
Round of
sir.
applause.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All good.
Let's go.
As always, we have BK in the house.
I'll
And
see you
goodbye
guys on
from
the
him.
next one.
Okay, and for a man that likes to, give service to others, I leave with this, man. I'm inspired, man.
Yeah.
Inspired. Let me see.
Facts.
Let me try and end with the stuff. So
Inspirational quote.
yeah, a bell is no bell till you ring it.
Ooh.
A song is not a song till you sing it.
Okay.
And love was not put in your heart to stay. Love isn't love till you give it away.
Ooh.
That requires a click. That requires a poetic
I
click,
like it. I
boy.
like it. Ladies and gentlemen,
Damn.
we are Savvie, BK Creative. I'm MC Savvie Boy. More thanks.
Let's go.